Allow me to enlighten you. At some time in his life, every young man must answer one question. Am I truly a man? Here's the sad reality. If you follow society's advice on how to become a man, you will end up feminine and weak with low testosterone. There is a reason why our predecessor had far more testosterone than our generation. Their bones were also much stronger. Listen, it has always been difficult to transition from a kid to a man, but it's now more difficult than ever, especially if you did lack a strong father figure to assist you in the current world. You will be mistaken and misled. You will come across fake concepts such as toxic masculinity. The concept of toxic masculinity doesn't exist. The feminist movement invented it to shame men. It may even be made up by those above the feminist movement in order to weaken and control society. But that's not the point of this video. We will go through 5 elements that help a boy grow into a man. Number 1. Violence. The world can be a terrible place, and there are bad people in it. That's why every man must be capable of becoming dangerous, both for his own sake and for the sake of his loved ones. Every man has a duty to protect himself and his loved ones. And you cannot be peaceful unless you are capable of great violence. If you are not capable of fighting, you are not peaceful but harmless. Which means that people are free to do whatever they want to you and everyone you care about. Every man knows they lack something. If they can't fight, we feel it within ourselves, since it takes a lot of hard work and effort to become dangerous. Many men will pretend to be too ethical to be harmful. They will claim things like, "I'm against violence, so I would never get into a fight." That's cowardice disguised in morality. Because the coward will never try to stop violence. If it comes his way, he is more pro-violence than the fighter. If you truly reject violence, you realize the value of being strong and dangerous. Remember that a warrior prays for peace while preparing for war. Number 2. Understand how to suffer. A man must learn to suffer in silence. Every man endures many types of pain, mentally, physically, and often the pain of others who rely on him. The reality is that a man does not have anyone else to rely on. There is no point in crying and expecting others to care or feel sorry for you. If you are a guy, that luxury is only reserved for women and children. The modern society will tell you that it's okay to cry. The exact opposite is true. Other men lose respect for a man who breaks down crying, and women lose all interest in him. I'm not saying you shouldn't cry. We are all human, and there are times when it is okay to cry. But if the pressure gets overwhelming, tears will not fix anything, and you will receive neither sympathy or pity. That will just send the message to others that you are incapable of dealing with your difficulties. As a man, you must instead learn to suffer and endure. Understand how to deal with extreme pressure. When the pressure becomes too much for a boy, he may become selfish and ignore all duties. Instead of giving up, a man must remain resilient and face issues head-on. If there ever comes a moment when you do cry, make sure it is in private or in the company of very close brothers who you can trust. You may think this is toxic, but it's the reality of living as a guy, and it's a good thing. Diamonds are forged under extreme pressure. It's the pressure and pain that produces strong men that others can count on. Number 3. Take control. Males must own everything in their universe. No matter what occurs in your life, you can always claim possession. We are conditioned to shift responsibility and make excuses when things don't work out. Most men, contrary to what we wanted, will shift the blame for a failure, stopping them from learning or growing from it. Accepting entire ownership has a weight that most people are unwilling to take. Yet you must assume that weight in order to become a man. Since all of us have a limited amount of time on this planet, time is our most valuable possession. To add weight to that statement, none of us know how much time we have, which should make the following sentence stand out. Living an unauthentic life spent blaming people and circumstances for our dissatisfaction is the biggest waste of time and life that exists. There are 4 things you must realize if you want to know how to take ownership. Listen, stop blaming people and circumstances. Understand what is in your control. Be accountable for everything within your control. Don't discuss problems with focusing on solutions. When you realize and apply this, you stop creating excuses and get ownership of your own life path. Do you realize how important this is? Number 4, take risks. No one ever achieved anything by sitting quietly and doing nothing. Instead, take risks and create the life you want. Life is all about taking risks, understanding and learning where your limits are when it comes to building the life you want. After you start and begin to see some success, the ensuing changes cause a ripple effect that shift how boys relate to themselves. They start to understand that it's within their own personal power to create the life they desire, which is powerful. Quit thinking and living someone else's life. You must do something. Find your creative potential and take the required risks to go out and create it. Number 5, testosterone. Testosterone is the fundamental hormone that determines your dominance and masculinity. Every male with very low testosterone is essentially a shell of the man he could be. Simply observe how a house cat changes when its reproductive functions are gone. You will notice that your cat is gaining weight and becoming sedentary. It absolutely loses its drive. We live in a world where there are countless bad habits that lower your testosterone on a daily basis. If you made it all the way through this video and want to discover the best techniques to naturally boost your testosterone, leave a comment down below. Don't forget to express your appreciation by clicking the like and subscribe buttons if you want to follow the man's way. Till the next time.